You know that feeling when you're in a parking garage? It's kind of cool, a little damp, you hear your footsteps echoing, and there's that faint smell of car exhaust just hanging in the air. We use these places all the time, and we really don't give them a second thought. But have you ever actually stopped to wonder what you're breathing down there?
I mean, think about it. You've got hundreds of cars, sometimes thousands, all pumping out exhaust in this giant concrete box. So how is it even possible to walk from your car to the elevator without getting a headache or worse? What is this secret that keeps that air from becoming toxic?
Well, it turns out there's this really fascinating piece of engineering going on all around you, solving what is basically an everyday mystery that we're all a part of.
And it's true. The second you drive down that ramp, you're putting your trust, your safety, in an invisible system that you've probably never even noticed before. So today, we're going to pull back that curtain and take a look at this hidden marvel of engineering.
Okay, so to really understand the solution, you first have to get a handle on the problem. And the air inside a parking garage, it's actually facing two totally different kinds of threats that any ventilation system has to be ready for.
So on one hand, you've got this slow, kind of creeping danger of just daily pollution. All those cars are spitting out nasty stuff like carbon monoxide and nitrogen oxides, and that stuff has to be constantly cleared out. But then you have the other extreme, the sudden, terrifying threat of a fire, where the system has to go to war with thick, blinding smoke, and it has to do it fast.
And let's be absolutely clear about the stakes here. When there's a fire in a space like this, it's almost never the flames that are the biggest killer. It's the smoke. So this whole system isn't just about keeping the air smelling fresh, it's about keeping escape routes clear, which in the end is about saving lives.
So how do you actually get all that bad air out? Well, the most obvious answer, the one people tried for a long time, turns out to not be the best one. In fact, engineers ran into some really serious roadblocks. And it's a totally fair question, right? I mean, you see those huge metal ducts running along the ceilings in offices and basements everywhere. So why aren't parking garages just crisscrossed with those things?
Well, it turns out parking garages are a total nightmare for traditional ductwork. For starters, the ceilings are super low, which makes cramming bulky ducts in there a huge pain. Plus, ducts are actually really bad at moving air across big, wide open spaces, especially with all the columns and things in the way. It's just an inefficient, incredibly expensive, and clunky solution.
We needed a much smarter way to move the air. And this is where things get really cool. Enter the hero of our story, the jet fan. This is the modern engineering solution that completely changed the game.
So what exactly is a jet fan? It's not like a normal fan that just kind of circulates air. A jet fan is a compact little powerhouse. Its job isn't even to directly suck the bad air out. Instead, it creates a powerful, focused jet of air that pushes all the contaminated air in a specific direction, like towards the actual exhaust points. This is where the real magic happens. So instead of a whole network of bulky ducts, engineers just place these compact fans in strategic spots. Each one shoots out a high-speed jet of air. Now here's the really clever part. That fast-moving jet basically grabs all the still, stagnant air around it and pulls it along for the ride. It's a physics thing called induction. So by lining up a series of these fans, you create this massive, slow-moving river of air that flows through the whole garage, sweeping all the pollutants and smoke right along with it toward the main exhaust shafts. Pretty smart, huh? But this system isn't just about brute force. It's smart, too. It actually has two completely different modes to handle those two different threats we were just talking about.
Okay, so during a normal day, the system is just chilling in pollution control mode. You've got sensors that detect the levels of carbon monoxide, and if they get too high, the jet fans kick on at a low speed, just enough to keep the air fresh. It's super energy efficient. But if a fire is detected, everything changes. The system slams into emergency mode. All the fans blast at 100% power, creating that massive river of air to force the deadly smoke out, which keeps escape routes visible so people can get out and firefighters can get in.
So just how powerful are we talking about when they're at full blast? Well, a typical large garage system is designed to move 60,750 CFM. That's cubic feet per minute.
Now, I know that number, 60,750 CFM, doesn't really mean much on its own. So let's try to put that into perspective. That is enough air to completely empty out and then refill an entire professional basketball arena in just a couple of minutes. That is the kind of incredible power we're talking about, working to keep you safe in an emergency. So, the next time you're walking through a parking garage, just take a second and look up at the ceiling. You might just spot one of those small, unassuming jet fans, and now you'll know all about the unseen science behind it, that clever, powerful system creating an invisible river of air, silently working to protect you every single day.